and welcome to my Closing the Gap presentation on executive functioning. My name is Clare Foertsch and I am graduating from the school counseling track. My internship site this past year has been in my alma mater, Mother McAuley Liberal Arts High School. Mother McAuley is an all-girls Catholic high school located on the south side of Chicago. It is a high-achieving and college preparatory school that boasts a 100% college acceptance rate. There are roughly 1,000 students in the school, but for my presentation, I will only be focusing on underclass women with a GPA of 2.5 or below. This came out to be 25 freshmen and 16 sophomores. Out of 226 total freshman students, the average GPA is 3.38, with almost half holding a GPA of 3.5 or higher. 11% of the freshmen hold a GPA of 2.5 or lower. Out of 221 sophomore students, the average GPA is 3.41, also with nearly half holding that GPA of 3.5 or higher. 7.2% of sophomores have a 2.5 or lower GPA. The goal with these students is to enhance their executive functioning skills and ultimately boost their GPA. Due to the school closures from COVID-19, original interventions had to be modified for a virtual setting, which is what I will be focusing on. Before COVID-19, I had invited all 41 students into my office to invite and speak with them about the group I would be running. It was planned to run for 5 consecutive weeks during their study or lunch period. After receiving parent consent forms, I ended up with 16 students total to participate, creating 4 groups of 4. Each session was to cover a different topic such as learning styles, time management, study skills, learning strengths, organization, and goal setting. When plans were altered to virtual lessons, I focused on 3 topics: time management, learning strengths and styles, and goal setting. Lesson 1 focuses on time management. This lesson starts off with talking about how we prioritize our time. What do they spend their time on? I have provided them a downloadable pie chart to physically see how much time is spent doing certain things throughout their day. I go on to talk about the 3 Ds, due date, difficulty, and desire, to guide students on what assignments they should complete first. Next, I provided them with an e-learning daily planner to fill out and plan each day, as being away from school structure can easily get us distracted and behind. Lastly, I showed them a short time management tips video and provided them with online resources to manage their time. At the end of the lesson, they will complete a retrospective pre-post test. Lesson 2 focuses on learning strengths and study skills. For this lesson, I start off with a short video explaining the different types of learning styles such as visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. After that, they will scan a QR code to complete a 20-question inventory to find out their own learning style. Then, I will guide them through the 8 types of intelligence, how these compare to our learning styles, and that each of us is unique in the way we learn. I go on to share some study tips for each style of learner. Now that we have moved on to study skills, I begin talking about taking notes and keeping them organized with some quick note-taking tips. I explain the importance of making plans for studying, including how far ahead they should start and how long of a period they should study for. They are then given a QR code to do a worksheet they can fill out when preparing for a test or quiz in the future. Lastly, they are given a test-taking tips focused on different types of questions that might be on a test. Finally, they will complete their retrospective pre-post test. Lesson 3 is focused on goal setting. I will begin the lesson discussing why we should set goals and how making goals benefits us as students and people. I then go into a specific SMART goals lesson, beginning with a brief video explaining what a SMART goal is. I then begin an activity showing an example of a goal in which students can identify which part of the SMART of the SMART goal that goal is, hoping that they can identify which example is a full-on SMART goal. Next, I go into the steps they can take to develop and start to attain their own SMART goal. They learn to recognize the difference between long-term and short-term goals, the obstacles they might come across trying to attain these goals, and how to be realistic when setting their goals and plans to achieve them. Lastly, they are able to scan a QR code to download a goal planning worksheet where they can work out their SMART goals step by step. I leave them with a list of goal-setting app resources. Finally, they will take their retrospective pre-post test. This particular PDF I made that was used earlier in the school year during quarter exams. After the 3 lessons were completed, I have given them this PDF personally to print out and keep in their notebooks or binders as quick tip reminders on executive functioning skills. Unfortunately, I'm not able to get the hard data results of what this group could have been due to the school closures. However, if I were able to conduct this as planned, I would have hoped that the results would have shown a decrease in missing assignments, an increase in grades on tests and quizzes, an increase in grades in both quarter 3 progress reports and at their final grades before summer break, and lastly, an increase in their overall GPA, climbing towards a goal of 3.0 or higher. In the future, there are a few things I would consider and change. I would like to extend this group to junior students as well as offer it in this fall and spring in hopes to be more proactive. I would also possibly extend the group to up to 8 to 10 weeks in order to go more in depth on certain topics and add more. In order to get more student participation, I would have liked to advertise the group more in things like the parent newsletter, as well as obtain teacher and administration involvement to guide student interest. These are the 6 QR codes used during my lessons for handouts and downloadable PDF files if you should want to download them as well. Lastly, this is a brief bibliography of my resources. Thank you for listening.